Hi there YouTubers, welcome back to my channel, Workshop Fun. Today I'd just like to post an update about my Victron inverter and rewiring everything to bring it all into one area, not just the inverter, but so the inverter's an add-on, but all the little things that had been wired up over the years by previous owners of the caravan had sort of been crammed into the battery box, so I wanted to get it out of the battery box and just have the inverter cables in there and the battery cables in there. So I endeavoured to do that and have succeeded. So let's get into it. So what we have here is my new main bus bar and my fuse box, and running around the inverter is all the leads that used to go into the battery box, believe it or not. Can't believe they even managed to fit them in there, but it was very tight. So I have now shifted all of them out of the battery box and up to here to this new fuse box, and they run into the bus bar and they get powered through that from the battery and the new leads going to the battery. So looking at the battery box from inside, there is 4 cables going into it, 2 for the inverter and 2 for the main battery leads that come into the bus bar. The other leads that you can see strapped up are the solar and the network cable, of course, the blue one, for the inverter. Okay, so moving right along, coming into the bus bar is the same thing with the solar, the battery leads, what else? The AC charger, that all comes in. And then everything from the caravan, like I don't know, but one of the main problems is one of the main connections to the 12 volt system was quite dodgy, and I created this little setup for it as its new connection. I bought 2 little mini bus bars, hooked it up into those, and then hooked a new lead up into the opposite end, of course, and ran them around and back into this fuse box. So now my 12 volt system is working better than ever. It's not playing up or anything. The solar side of things, I've put a 80 amp DC breaker on. You can see it down there. It's quite hard to see, but it's a resettable breaker, so that's nice and simple. And of course that goes up into the bus bar. Now with the inverter, it has a 200 amp breaker, which can also act as a main shut-off switch, of course, and that just goes straight to the inverter. So the inverter is a standalone unit. It doesn't take its power off this bus bar, of course, or what was I going to say? It doesn't take its power off it, and it doesn't have any breaker connected to it. It has its own 200 amp breaker. Excuse me. So all this cabling took hours and hours and hours. It was an awful lot of work, and laying it all out in this area took a long time. It's actually quite hard to show all of it, but there we go. So I will zoom out a little bit. Oh, whoopsie. There we go. There, that's better. So that is all of it. You can see you got the inverter, you got all the wiring, you got the cabling, and then just over there you can see a hint of blue. That's the AC Victron smart charger, and I can turn that on with a Wi-Fi plug socket that I got, so I just simply turn that on with my phone if I run the battery too flat with the solar charge, and the solar charger ain't keeping up. So that's really good. Now I'll just put that back to normal. Alright, so coming back to the inverter, it's finally alive, as I said. I do have the smart dongle coming for it now, but for now, just to power it on, I just simply come up here and on it goes. You can see the blue light slipping up, and then looking down at the inverter, the green light has now come on. So yay, all done. I just got to hook up a plug to it now. That's the easy part. So yeah, you can sort of see the amount of cabling that is required with the solar chargers and the inverter and the battery leads, and oh my goodness, it just went on and on. But it's finally done, thank goodness. Now for those of you who haven't seen this before, not only have I installed all of this, but coming up here, this is my Victron smart solar controller, smart solar charge controller, and it's a 30 amp one, and of course it's Bluetooth, and it also has its own resettable breaker, and so does the AC charger too, forgot to mention that. There's a bus bar up here and a fuse box here too for future, so I can add on another solar charger very easily. And of course I've got very heavy duty cable, that's the same cable that you can see running down into the rest of it near the inverter, and it goes into that new bus bar. So yeah, very intense job, but it's all done. It's a huge new setup, and this caravan's 12 volt system doesn't know itself. So hopefully in the near future I will be able to set up a plug for the inverter, and I want to get one of those plugs with the USB charger, USB fast chargers in them, so you can just simply charge your cell phone and everything too. Alright, well that's about all for now, and I'll post an update when I have the plug done and everything. Now I got to tidy up after creating a huge mess. Thank you, bye.